Good afternoon and welcome to Today on Bay TV. I'm Henry Darby Cook, this is Keith Millward. We are live in Swansea on Friday, April 21st, 2017. Today's National Tea Day and tomorrow's National Record Store Day, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit more later.
Before we start the show, Ragsy is going to kick things off with some music.
Cysgu dan y ser hen o neu'n cerdded gyda chli o hyd camnedd o'r tir ma nes bod long i'n neud i dyma fi'n gael tre sydd yn torri nawr a dwi'n hapus iawn yn ni dyma lle mae'n halo ni a dwi am fod ma o hyd a cefo mod i'n crwydro lawer gwaith ac yn diolch yn fod yn rhydd a ma fadda i
So good.
That's a way to start a Friday. Thank you, Ragsy. We're going to be hearing more from him later, and we've got a great show for you today, so should we get it started, Keith?
Yes, and we're joined by Leslie Mayer, Bill Thomas, and our very own Caitlin Harris to talk about On This Day.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with, actually, today, because today's National Tea Day.
Oh, yes.
Bill, are you a tea drinker? How do you like it?
I certainly am. I enjoy my cup of tea.
Is it builder's tea, or are you a green tea?
Quite strong tea.
Yeah? Caitlin?
Milk, no
yeah,
sugar.
I think I'm proper builder's tea, as strong and as sweet as I can.
And Keith, how do you...
Always have tea. I can't get enough of it. If I could have a cup of tea any time of the day. I think I follow my aunt, actually. She always used to have the kettle on the stove in the old days, and there was always a cup of tea ready as you walked in through the door.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yeah,
And
so-
obviously tomorrow is National Record Store Day, and because we're not on, I think we've got to talk about it today. What was your first record,
Oh
Keith?
my gosh! Well, I remember going into record stores and actually going into the booth and listening to the music. You know, go back as far as that, and they were special days. You know, you just say to those behind the counter, you know, will you put on the Beatles or Cilla Black or Sandy Shaw or whoever, and you'd have this wonderful sound coming
Yeah.
through the speakers. You know, I don't know this. You know, music is so readily available these days in all forms, but you can't beat those times.
Can you remember your first record, Bill?
Probably it was either Little Richard or Elvis Presley.
Classics.
Classics, rock and roll. But the one record I wish I still had is I bought Ain't She Sweet, which was sung by the Silver Beatles before they became the Beatles. And I've lost it. So
That'd be worth a fortune, I'd have thought.
yeah,
Oh, you must keep looking through those drawers and in the
Yeah.
cupboards.
I've tried many times, but one day it'll pop up.
Oh my gosh.
Are you a record fan, Caitlin, or
Not
is it
really.
CDs?
I haven't bought any of my own records. I bought some for my dad for Christmas, but
What did you get him?
I think I got him. What did I get him? I can't actually remember. That kind of shows how bad I am potentially. But I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I'm more of a CD person, probably. So
Can you remember your
but-
first CD?
Yeah, probably an old Pink CD. 'cause
Oh,
that's-
really?
Yeah.
Should we move
she
on
has
to On
many
This
records.
Day?
Yeah.
It's a big birthday, I
Big
think,
birthday.
isn't it?
It's the
Oh, yes.
Queen's 91st birthday. So it's been 70 years since she was 21, which is where she was sort of setting up as her beginning of the Queen. And yeah, she's had the longest reign of any British monarch, and she's the only head of state in the UK to have reached 90. So that's kind of a big thing. So she's definitely getting on in her reign, and yeah.
Great, I think we've got a little VT.
We do. We have a VT of her
Let's go to
90th
it.
birthday last year.
She's always so gracious, isn't she? Have you met the Queen?
No, I've met Prince Philip, I met Prince Charles, and I met Princess Diana. But I remember the coronation when I was a little boy in Pennygross, and we all had to go to the welfare hall where they had a TV, and we watched the coronation on TV in the welfare hall.
Oh.
I still remember that.
Oh, well, that'd be a big occasion because TV wasn't readily available to many at that time.
That's why it was in the welfare hall. Quite a big
Yes,
hall.
yes.
Small TV.
I bet there were lots of cups of tea there as well.
Oh, yes, many cheers there, yes.
Being a mayor, do you get any special birthday celebrations?
No, not really. You get. I've had a couple this year where one lady was 100, and I went along to another place. It was one of the homes in Llanelli, and there was a lady I met there. She was 107,
Wow.
but she walked to the centre, and she informed me she still did all her cooking, all her own cleaning. Got herself to bed
amazing?
upstairs. She made a good point of saying that, and she was as sharp as can be because the USA elections were on at the time. And she says to me, "What do you think about this Trump then?"
Oh.
And what she thought about him wasn't, you couldn't repeat really.
And gosh, it's incredible, isn't it?
107.
107. So I wonder what her secret was. Did she share it?
No, she was just, you know, the family had a history of long life in the lady's side.
Oh,
But she was really very interesting to talk to. She could remember everything, you know, long ago, but daily things, politics, the whole thing. She was.
well, a friend of mine's mother is 105, and she's fine as well, you know. And so there must be something. She lives Pembrey, so there must be something in the
something in the
water. Definitely.
In the final moments, Caitlin, is there any quick On This Day facts?
Yeah,
Or?
continue with the royal theme. Actually, it was Henry VIII. He became king today after Henry VII, his father, died. So Henry VII obviously was actually Britain's first Welsh king. So the Tudor line quite strongly Welsh, although they kind of ignored it for a bit after they actually got in power. And yeah, Queen Elizabeth is actually still related to Henry VIII, not directly, obviously, because Henry didn't have any direct descendants, but she's related to him through his mother, so through the Scots and then all the way down. So still a bit of a Tudor connection
That's
there.
really interesting.
Henry VII landed in Pembroke.
We're
you see.
running out of time,
Yeah.
Bill, but we'll pick it up in the next
That's
part.
okay.
After the break, it's our daily paper review, and they're both going to stay with us. So we'll see you in a minute.
See you then. Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Keith Millward, and this is Henry Darby Cook, and we are back with our daily look at the newspapers.
Caitlin Harris and the Mayor of Llanelli, Bill Thomas, have both stayed with us. Bill, just before we get onto the papers, I think you were going to carry on a story about Henry VII, was it?
Yeah, well, he landed in Pembroke and gathered his forces as he went through South Wales when he eventually became king. It was, but then seemed to forget about us afterwards.
So definite Welsh links then to the
Certainly
throne.
Welsh links, yes.
Very interesting. We'll go to the papers. We're going to start with the Daily Mail. Obviously, last night there was another terror attack, this time in Paris again, on the Champs-Élysées of all places, which is obviously the main street in Paris, where the Arc de Triomphe's at the top of it and all the shops and heavy tourists and footfall there. Very sad news.
It is extremely sad news, but my take on this, and it doesn't take away from the sadness, obviously, of death and for people being injured, but occasions like this have happened in the past, but now we're so quick to say that it's a terrorist attack. You know, there's always been criminals, but that's how I see this situation. I'm wondering whether we sort of are overreacting. I don't know. Perhaps I need to be corrected.
Well, I think that we've had so many of these things of late that the police react very quickly. And I think the intelligence they've got, if they say it's related to a terror attack, and indeed this morning on the news, this man had been charged 4 years ago with attempting to kill a policeman. So they've probably got a lot of information which will come out later on. But these terror attacks have kept on going since the London one, the Twin Towers. It's really something that's quite abhorrent. But I think they got the individuals doing it now instead of the large scale one. It's like the one person, two persons, and it's very difficult to stop that.
Obviously, the Daily Mail have gone with new terrorist attack in Paris. Obviously, again, very scary words. But I think we spoke about it before. What are your thoughts, Caitlin, of are we numb to this now just because of the frequency?
Not sort of experiencing the horror of it anymore. Although it's quite hopeful because these things are coming out more on social media where the response is less fear and more support. So giving support to various areas, specifically in Paris. Like I know there's a lot of hashtags and there's a lot of support going out to either victims or people close to the attack. So as much as we might be becoming sort of numb to just how many of these attacks are happening, there still is a huge amount of empathy. So we're not completely numb to it, just horrified maybe. Which is
we're strong, aren't we? And I think the public always stand up and say we're not going to be scared, we're not going to shut the doors and hide away. I think we carry on and we have to, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, I was in Agen last August because I was mayoral duties, and the security there was immense. They certainly don't take anything by chance. It's the security on it's a Prune Festival. It's a major festival in Agen, and there were so many soldiers and police and all over the place. You felt safe,
Yes.
but certainly they took the threat extremely seriously.
How times have changed, because we were talking earlier about the records and the booths, such an innocent time, and today it seems a different world.
Well, it is, but I worked in Northern Ireland as well some years back and experienced the security systems there, and I worked for British Road Services, and you couldn't go out wearing British Road Services ties or the blazer and things like that when you were over there. It was security, it was tight, so I've been used to quite a bit of that because there was a lot of terror around at that time, and it was constant over there. The Europa Hotel got attempted to blow it up about 38 times. So
Yes.
I don't think we're immune to it. I think we're careful.
Yes, we look back and we see things with rose-coloured spectacles, and even those times when I was listening to the records in the booths, there were occasions as you're talking.
Moving on to the Daily Telegraph, obviously again, that same image that we've seen with the police van over the Champs-Élysées with the Arc de Triomphe in the background. Obviously, the shooting has come just days before the French presidential elections. That's okay, Bill.
Sorry.
I know you're a busy man.
I'm very, very sorry.
That's okay. So elections are obviously coming up all over Europe. The French election is very important, but also we've got, well, we were just thinking local elections, Bill, but soon we've now got a snap general election. Do you want to share your thoughts on kind of the coming weeks and...
Yeah.
It's probably
Well,
to
it's-
do with
I'd assume that phone call was probably about it.
No, not really. It's thrown everything up in the air, really, because although I'm not standing this time, I wouldn't like to be standing in the local elections now, because with a general election coming, the local councillors will be going out trying to deal with local issues, and they will be constantly getting questions about national issues, and people won't, it's be constant. They will be on about the national thing, and that will detract, I think, from the local elections. And then there's not much time to the general election, so they'll be campaigning. People get fed up of it, I think.
There's a history of not always having a great turnout for the local elections. Let's talk about the importance of the local elections. And do you think with the general election just after, do you think we'll see more people at the polls this time?
Well, the looking at the registers, the electoral registers, I've never seen so many people registered as there are this time, and that's because of Brexit. So that, where you had gaps in the register, different houses not registered, nearly all of them are now. So it'll be quite intense, I would imagine. But the local issues need to be addressed. It's the schools, the social services, all that type of thing. That comes into the local issues, and they need to be addressed on the doorstep because people are concerned about them. But then you get the general election coming along, and it's all about austerity and cuts and fears of what's going to happen with the Brexit issue. So it's going to be quite a tumultuous time, really, I think.
So you see that more people are taking interest in politics
Far
now
more,
than they have been?
Far more people are taking interest, and I'm very impressed with the young people who haven't got a vote, but they've certainly got plenty to say, and quite reasonable and quite sensible at times, because they want to vote at 16.
Yes.
And when you talk to some, I don't see why not.
So you're in the camp for the vote to be dropped to 16 then, by the sounds of it?
Yeah, we've moved on from we had a vote at 21 and came to 18, and I think the time's right. These young people today, they're far more switched on, if you like. And of course, it's the social media issue. They get into that very early. I think, they deserve a vote.
I guess looking back at Brexit, the one thing that happened very quickly was there was headlines along the lines of "Thank you, Nan and Grandad, for ruining my future," and it was this idea that the young people didn't have the vote, but it's their future's been decided for them.
It's surprising how many young people I've spoken to who, if they had a vote, would have voted in, because they saw their future as being international and as being they could work anywhere. They go to university. Lots of them go to university now. They see if they can transfer those skills into working abroad, and they actually see it as an opportunity. Lots of them, and I think they were quite disturbed that we did come out. So.
Definitely. In the final moments, we're going to jump to the Metro. Again, Metro have gone with that top image, but the second story is Diet Cola linked to dementia and strokes. Obviously, I think diet drinks don't look to be as good for you as first advertised. And I think a lot of people probably know this, but now for it to be linked to dementia and strokes.
Yes, I've never been a great lover. As I say, it's the tea I stick to. But no, it's good for this to be brought to our attention.
Definitely.
It's quite worrying, really, that is, when that comes out. Because I haven't been the mayor this year. You go around and meet lots of people, and I've been to places where there are people suffering with dementia at various stages.
Yeah.
And it is a terrible illness. It's something that you feel so sad about.
So
Thank you very, very much for
excuses.
joining
Thank
us.
you. Thank you. Next, we're going to be talking to Mark Jones. So we'll see you in a few minutes.
He's going to be talking music festivals. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Henry Darby Cook, and this is Keith Millward, and we're joined by Phil and Nick from Carmarthen Music Festival.
Yes, Carmarthen Festival,
There we go.
isn't it? Near Port Talbot.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 miles north of Port Talbot, yeah.
And this is the 7th festival. Yeah. So how are plans going?
Fantastic, yeah. It's growing lovely and it's coming together tidy.
So in what ways would you say the 7th festival is different to the first?
It's much bigger because obviously it started as a small sort of venue and small concert. And obviously the acts are getting bigger every year, and this year is the biggest one of them all.
And you've got some quite well-known acts, haven't you?
Yeah, we've gone for something a bit special. We got the Blockheads for the Saturday.
I remember Ian Dury and the Blockheads.
Yeah, we had a
yes.
lot.
I think we have a VT of the Blockheads just to remind people who they are. Should we go to it?
Keep the people happy, let them have their fun, and maybe they won't notice the damage that you've done. Don't do as we do as you are told. And while we're busy working, they'll scoop up all the gold. Governments and
You've quite a scoop to have them. Yes.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal band. You know, I've watched the Blockheads many a time over the past years. Yeah, fantastic band to watch.
The Carrots as well.
Yeah, Carrots from the Sunday, headlining the Sunday night. Carrots were the first live band I ever watched in my when I was a kid. And
Quite old then. Where are we going now?
1983, I can even tell you the year. I was a pot boy in a local pub. And they came along, that's 1983 they started in Carmarthen in Port Talbot, in the same place where they're going to play in the near future, on the Sunday.
But it's you who has arranged it, and you are the main organiser of the event. And Nick, you are the sound.
I'm the sound engineer, and I also I run a recording just a mile up the road. I run Oakwood Church Recording Studios. And interestingly enough, we're currently doing an album for the Pollen Count, who are another one of the big bands that are playing on the weekend. I should mention that the singer from the Pollen Count is also the drummer and the singer in the Carrots.
And that's
so
unusual,
there's a connection.
isn't
And
it?
it's the
The
Carrots,
drummer
it's the
sing.
Carrots' last gig, isn't it, Phil, apparently? So they say.
So they say, yeah, you know.
They threatened it to be
We've
their
got
last
some
one.
film of them as well. So.
Yeah, I think of the Pollen Count.
I bought the Pollen Count. It's their new single from the album they're doing with me at the moment. But it's just a clip because we don't want to let the whole thing go just yet.
Okay,
So
let's have a
it's
little
a work in
listen.
progress.
need a knife for slicing through bread. Need a knife. I'm so easily led. Need a knife to keep you in line. Need a knife most of the time. Need a knife. Need a knife. Need a knife. Need a knife.
Wow, sounds great, but also looks great. Nick, tell us a little bit about that studio. It's
Well, that
special,
was
isn't
just this little camera footage the boys brought in, and anybody who wasn't playing was filming the other person who was playing, just to have something to show from the studio session. It's in a converted church. We've been there 2 years. It's still an ongoing project. The church was built in 1912. We're about 200 yards from where Richard Burton was born, in the beautiful Avon Valley as well, and 2 miles down the road, the site of the Carmarthen Music Festival. So
Awesome. That's
On Treat of Venn, yes. And it's the second bank holiday of May. That's when the festival is on. So it's 3-day event?
No, the main event is 27th, 28th.
Right.
That's the outdoor music festival. But obviously we've got a fringe event happening as well. So, you know, we've got the Friday, which is in the local rugby club, which is just down the road a little bit. And then there's the folk club on the Monday, which is in the Roller Mill.
the boys having the choir?
The boys haven't choir. I can't make it this year.
Oh no, that was last year then.
We've got different choral singers, you know. But you know, we try and like do it for the, you know, not just for like the rockers and the, you know, it's for the people who enjoy all types of music, you know, from the choral side to the acoustic side.
Got the Blims from Bridgend as well. You know, they've got quite a big following.
Yeah, it's the Blims. You know, you got the Mediat, which is Adam Walton's band from Radio Wales. They are playing. And they are playing on the Saturday with the headline the Blockheads.
Awesome. I think we've got a quick VT actually of the key people in the lineup. Should we have a little look?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Here it is.
From Milan to Yucatan, every woman's every man. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me, hit me. Je t'adore, ich liebe dich. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me slowly, hit me quick. Hit me, hit me, hit me.
Looks like a great lineup. So we just saw there at the end how people get tickets. Just do you want to reconfirm how people, if they're interested, how they can go about
Yeah,
getting tickets?
Derek Swansea, you know, ticket line, and is a shop Chris Needs in Carmarthen, and you can go and purchase them over the counter.
Great. Well, talking about Derek's, obviously tomorrow is National Record Store Day. So can you remember your first record or your first LP?
Yeah, first LP I bought was the Jazz album by Queen.
Oh,
I
wow.
saved up all my pennies and I went out and bought it, and I think I remember it was £4.49, I think it was.
Have you still got it?
I still got it, yeah. But the nudes have been ripped out of it because they used to have a big pull out of the nudes on all them girls on bikes.
Yeah.
That was pulled down and put on my wall, but that's lost, obviously.
And Nick, do you remember your first
I might
record?
be wrong, but I think it was Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet was my first full-length album.
Very
Awesome. Have you
interesting.
still got it?
I think so, somewhere. Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, still love it, mind. I think it's on MP3 now. So.
And Phil, you're involved, obviously, with the organisational side of things. How did that come about?
Well, like you said, I started watching the Carrots lighting me up, you know, when I was a youngster, and I've always loved music ever since. And I've just noticed that the music scene is starting to, you know, go a little bit slack in our area. I'm not saying that everywhere, but in our area. So I thought, well, I just wanted for the youngsters now to have the same opportunity that I had, you know, as in watching live music. So I thought, well, you know, I used to put on bands in the club, in the football club. And I thought, well, why not do a little bit of an outside thing? And it's grown ever since, you know, and it's growing bigger and bigger every year, and hopefully.
And what's great about it, I guess, is things like Glastonbury, Reading, Leeds, all these big ones are so kind of out of reach, I feel, because everyone's trying to get tickets, things sell out really quickly. So to have local events where you can see local acts and actually, you know, still enjoy live music and have that atmosphere is so important. Yeah,
that's you know, that's the thing, you know, the festival has sold out for the last couple of years, and obviously we've gone up to the step up a mark. Obviously, there's a lot of red tape involved when you go up a little bit, and we're giving it a go, see what happens.
And you've been lucky with the weather over the years, haven't
Yeah,
you?
last few years has been nice, so just fingers crossed for this year, you know.
In the final moments, if you can just reconfirm how people can get tickets and when it is and where it is.
Yeah, online, Derek's Music, in Shop Chris Needs, Carmarthen. And yeah, on the 27th, 28th of May is the main event. Blockheads are on the Saturday, and the Carrots are on the Sunday, headlining the Sunday.
That's great. It sounds exciting. Are you going to go, Keith?
Oh, it sounds great. Oh, I really feel I want to be
there.
there. Yes. So, thank you. And after the break, we're having more music from Rapsy, and we'll be sitting down with us as well to talk about his music.
I'm excited to hear what he's been up to. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to your final part of Today on Bay TV. I'm Henry Darby Cook and this is Keith Millwood.
And before Ragsy speaks to us, let's hear some more of your lovely music.
So bring out the guards, 'cause I'm not moving. I'm gonna hold out my heart, 'cause it's something worth proving. I know that I hurt you, I know I did wrong, but I'm sorry for what I become. I've been a fool, sometimes without knowing. You're locked in my heart, forever and holding. I know I'm not perfect, you know this is true, but my life just ain't complete without you. Before you go away, take one last look this way. Is this something that you can deny, my love? I'm waiting, I'm holding out for you, my love. I'm waiting to lose myself in your eyes, my love, my love. So bring out the guards, 'cause I'm not moving. I'm gonna hold out my heart, 'cause it's something worth proving. I know that I hurt you, I know I did wrong, but I'm sorry, but I'm sorry.
Wow.
Rapsy and Chris now are coming towards us. Just wondering, your first single and first
Yeah,
album.
it would have been a CD, obviously. My first single was, I think it was the Baha Men, Who Let the Dogs Out. Can you remember that?
Oh, yes. Ooh, let the dogs
Yeah,
out.
but I can't remember my first album. I think it might have been Limp Bizkit or something.
Ah, very
Ragsy,
interesting.
what was your first album?
My first album was Queen Jazz. We were just chatting about it backstage. Yeah, I remember having it on vinyl. But I think it was followed up by a close Jive Bunny and the Basta mixes with my mother said, you can have that. But Queen Jazz was a big influence on me, so that first album was Queen Jazz.
And Chris, yours?
I think I inherited my first proper record was probably like my father's old Thin Lizzy and Fleetwood Mac record. So I honestly I couldn't tell you which one, but it's got to be a classic Thin Lizzy album. I'm sure of it.
Have you both still got them?
No, I don't have. Unfortunately, I don't. As you grow older and you live life, you have to downsize on certain things. And, I still got a massive CD collection stored away somewhere, like, you know. So, but yeah, I'm not. I'm one for having that sort of tangible kind of LP, CD, you know, that kind of thing. I like to read a cover from cover and listen to an album as well. So.
Well, it's made a comeback, hasn't it? It's massively popular.
Definitely.
I know they're making more and more every day now. So
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got nothing out on vinyl yet, but you never know. Like,
No, it's easily done.
closest we got to vinyl is dropping a CD on a vinyl floor.
Well, let's talk about what you have got out.
Yeah.
The new single came out 1st of March, was it?
First of March, St David's Day. Feels like home over Havany. The challenge was being a passionate Welshman, to release a single in English and Welsh. So we had Comeback Male Voice Choir featuring on both versions of it as well, which was really cool. It was one of those ambitions of mine to not to sing with a choir, but to sing in Welsh as well, in my native tongue. So
is that a process you're still going through, learning Welsh? Or?
Yeah. It was just one of those things. I've always wanted to do it, and I've got some really good friends in Terwyn and Tomo who they very, very kindly kind of translated the track, and we were about 4 days in the studio trying to nail it. Usually takes 6 takes, but this was like 4 days of nailing it, and we did it, but it's just become one of those things where I'm learning Welsh now, and I'm going to be on the Adult for Learning Welsh kind of the face on the summer courses this year now, so I'm excited to be learning the Welsh language.
Just before you guys go over to play us out,
Yeah.
I guess you're going to have a busy summer like most artists. Where can people see you?
Well, I'm currently putting an acoustic tour together, and there's various places, but I'm playing the Big Retreat in Wales. That's one festival. I'm playing Llangollen, Eisteddfod. There's a whole list of them, to be honest.
So if people go to your social media websites?
Website is www.ragsymusic.com, but I try and update that as best I can, but it's usually Facebook and Twitter, which is Ragsy or at Ragsy78 on Twitter.
That's great. Thank you, guys. If you want to get ready to play us out, and we'll finish the show. Thank you. So thank you to all our guests today, and for all our viewers for watching us, especially those who have tuned in for our Talking Pictures afternoon matinee coming up next on Bay.
And today it's the 1951 comedy Tom Brown's School Days, starring Robert Newton.
Have you seen it, Keith?
Oh, it's a good film.
Is it?
Yes.
One to watch?
It's a good story.
Well, with that, all I've got left to say is, Ragsy, take it away.
Stop passing by, and our hearts beating faster than ever, never knowing where we're heading for. There's so many unanswered questions. I only know I wanted more. So can you look me in the eyes and tell me that you need me? Can you look me in the eyes? Tell me you believe me. Do you remember the first time when you placed your lips to mine, embraced in that moment? I think everything stopped passing by. Do you remember the first time? when I held you in my arms. Never wanted to leave you, go baby. In our world we were safe from harm, with our hearts beating faster than ever, never knowing where we're heading for. With so many unanswered questions, I only know I wanted more. So can you